Namaste Sannyasa family and everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you in this daily live meditation session with me Dhyanse. We're meditating on 112 meditation techniques of Vigyan, Bhairav, Tantra. On this spiritual journey, 1,001 questions arise. As you start to become aware of yourself, as you start to become aware of everything around you, 1,001 question arises. Before the spiritual journey, there was no question. There was no questioning in you, and this whole realm of spirituality, it was just a latency in you. It was latent in you, and suddenly from somewhere the first question arose in you: who am I? What is this world? Or something so fundamental which led to 1,001 questions. In the end, also there is no question, but this process of this journey, this growth, it will go through 1,001 questions, and you will come to a point where these questions once again they merge back into where they came from, and you are once again in no questioning, no questions anymore. But still there will be a significant difference between the beginning and the end. So along this journey, as these questions arise in you, contemplate over these questions in your own silent awareness, in your own meditativeness, in your own authenticity. Question and contemplate. If you have not yet come to your authentic questions, let us go through some of the questions from our Sannyasa family members and learn from these questions, meditate together on these questions. The question for today's session: I was just wondering, how can you be aware of a desire before it even shows up? Like you said in the session, how can you be aware of a desire before it even shows up? This question comes up when we talk about desire, when we talk about love, when we talk about desirelessness. And a few days back in the discourse, I said that you can know the desire before even it arises, because after it arises, you cannot control it. You'll have to have the release. So the way to be desireless is for the desires that have come up, let them be released. But at the same time, watch the desire so that you can go to the source of the desire and can be really desireless. How does that work? How can you know the desire before it even arises? See that you can not only know the desire, but a thought, an emotion. Everything in you, before it even arises in you, you can know that before. How does that work? To understand that, you have to have some framework of the mind to picture and visualize how your mind works. And also in the previous sessions, we had talked about mind as having 4 components. And if you emphasize on 2 components, manas and chitta, you will understand how can you really know the desire or a thought or anything arising in the unconscious of your mind before it even arises. Let us briefly understand that manas is the screen on which you have all these thoughts, you have all these desires, you have all these emotions. The projection, like when you're sitting in a theater and you're watching a movie, the screen that is there on which the projection is there, that screen is manas. This is where you ordinarily realize your desire, your thought, your emotion. When the projection has already been made, You are watching the screen and you say, yes, I have a desire, I have a thought, I have this emotion that arises on this screen of Manas. And when you watch the desire, the technique that we did in that session was to watch the desire. When you watch the desire, when you watch the thought, and you move towards the source, when you move towards the projector, not the projection, not the screen, but the projector, suddenly a new intelligence rises in you, a new wisdom opens up for you when you start moving your awareness towards the projector, towards what is known as chitta. From chitta, all the contents of your consciousness arise and are projected on the manas. So as you follow the thought, as you follow the desire and go to its source, you will come to a place which is known as chitta. And this chitta is where things get interesting. The whole Yoga Sutras, if you go back to the 196 Yoga Sutras, are all about this chitta. Yoga starts with Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That's the definition of yoga. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, meaning to have this chitta free of vritti, free of modifications. So the entire science of yoga was so much focused on this chitta. And for Tantra as well, it takes you even broader than just the chitta. It says watch the whole process, not just the chitta. Watch the desire from the manas to its source, to its chitta. And as you watch your chitta, then another revelation happens, which needs to be understood. Everything that is there in the manifested world, this physical world, everything that has a form, that has a formless, that has a manifestation, was at some point of time formless, was at some point of time unmanifested. So everything that is manifested arises from the unmanifested. Everything that is a form arises from the formless. And in this process, somewhere in between, there is a transcendence. Somewhere in between, there is this gap where it's neither the form nor the formless. If the form is a yes, is a one, then the formless is a no or a zero. There is somewhere in between where there is a yes and a no both, where there is a both 0 and 1. That realm where there is both yes and no is where you know that the desire is about to arise. That layer of consciousness, that layer of potentiality where there is both yes and no and neither yes and no. Muli Shah, he took a cheap flight. As the flight took off, reached to its cruising altitude, the flight attendant came. She said, "Good evening, sir. What would you like to have? Would you like to have dinner?" The Muli Shah, he said, "What are my options?" The flight attendant said, "Yes and no. These are your two options, yes and no." In this realm of potentiality, where it's only pure potential, where it's somewhere above the unmanifested, where it's not 0, but where it's also not yet 1, where is neither no nor yes. In that realm of potentiality, that realm is where once you follow your desire, once you follow your thought, you move from manas to chitta, and the nature of this vritti that arises in the chitta from the completely unmanifested to the manifested, and you see the process of this manifestation going through a realm, a transience, a transcendence, a realm of both yes and no. And in this realm, you know, when you are becoming aware of this potentiality and your awareness is deep enough, then when a desire, a thought is about to arise, then you know. And in this potentiality, you can turn the yes into a no into a yes. That much power that you have. And therefore, we say you can manifest whatever you want in your life. If you want to have that ability to manifest everything that you want in your life, you have to go down and follow your desire, follow your thought deep down into a place which is in between the unmanifested and the manifested, between the formless and the form. This journey is also known as inner journey that we take, and see lots of sciences arose out of this realm of potency. If you see the science of astrology, we call astrology a science because it is having a certain calculation. You can move things with astrology, but just the way an astrological prediction is not 100% prediction, because it is not an objective science. It is a science of potentiality where both yes and no, both 0 and 1 exists. It is not just an objective science, it is including your subjectivity. So once you as a subject are included in this astrological predictions, in this astrological sciences, whatever is being predicted, it depends on you whether this becomes a yes or becomes a no, whether this becomes a 1 or a 0. So see that this realm is highly potent, and to understand and to have this knowledge of this realm, to have the awareness of this realm is very, very empowering in life. So yes, you can know the desires if you go to that realm, and you can also become desireless if you go to this realm, because you can turn the yes into a no and it falls back into the unmanifested. Whatever is arising in you and is about to take the form falls back into the formless, falls back into a deep silence. This is how you create emptiness. This is how you live in complete emptiness, in complete silence, where there is no desire, no thought, no form, no emotion. You have the ability to convert that yes into a no, that 1 into a 0, into complete emptiness. Let us take a look at one more sutra for today, which we had started yesterday from Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, and practice one aspect of that sutra for today's meditation. The technique that we were beginning yesterday, contemplating on the manifest world as imagined or elusive, like a magic show or a painting, and seeing all existence as transient, happiness arises. So in yesterday's session, we began this technique to learn how to live this illusion, how to live this maya, how to live this illusory world with happiness. How to have the happiness arising out of the illusion, because knowing that this is an illusion, it might be that you fall into a place where there is no happiness. Thoughts may arise that why to live in this illusion, what to do with this illusion. So to answer how to live in this illusion, how to be happy and yet live this illusion, here Bhairava gives these 3 facets to contemplate upon. The first facet we began yesterday, to see this entire illusion as a magic show, as something magical, where we said that there are 2 dimensions. One dimension in this magical illusion is of the mind, is of the predictability. As you see an illusion, as you see a magic show, as you witness a magic show, your mind is following a certain predictability, a certain dimension of the predictability, and suddenly there is a jump from that dimension to the unpredictable. You're taken from the mind to that no mind. In that jump, in that transcendence from one dimension of the mind, of the predictability to the unpredictability, is happiness. There's one more situation in life, there's one more aspect in life which is not just the magic show but having the same characteristic, is when you are in a joke. It is the same. A man, he was sitting on a street, a hot sunny day, with a bucket in front of him and a fishing rod in that bucket. He was just sitting in that heat with this fishing rod in his bucket full of water. Another man passed by. He saw this man sitting with his fishing rod in the bucket, and just out of friendliness he said, "So, how many have you caught today?" The man with the fishing rod said, "You are the ninth." This is how a joke works as well, that you have a dimension which is of the predictability, and then you have a sudden transition from that dimension of predictability into the unpredictability. So the message here is remain open to the unpredictability of life. As you remain open to the unpredictability of this illusion of this life, suddenly happiness arises in this transience, in this gap between the predictability and the unpredictability. Let us continue meditating on this aspect even for today and explore the other two dimensions tomorrow. Please close your eyes and take a posture that is comfortable for you. With your body relaxed yet alert. Body finding its balance. And your awareness turning inwards. Becoming aware of the contents of your consciousness. Whatever arises, thoughts, emotions, images, sensations, feelings, any form that arises, becoming aware of that form. and remaining open for the formless, for the unpredictable. Simply sitting, observing your inner space, remaining open for the unpredictable. Awareness shifting to this potency between the form and the formless, between all that arises in your consciousness and emptiness. In your inner space, both yes and no, neither yes nor no. realizing your inner space as potentiality, the whole of your inner space. Open for the unpredictable, realizing the potentiality, both the zero and the one, neither zero nor one. Not trying to change anything, not trying to hold on to anything, simply remaining in this potentiality of yes and no, neither yes nor no. And let go of this realm, let go of this potentiality. Simply remain silent and aware. absolute stillness, silence, and awareness. And very gently and slowly, you may open your eyes. Maintaining the stillness, the silence, the awareness, and this remembrance, this taste of potentiality, of this realm in you where everything is possible, of this realm where you can create, where you can manifest. If you wish to manifest anything in your life, go to this realm of potentiality and turn every no into a yes, or a yes into a no, whatever you like. On this spiritual journey, if you wish to flow along with me and other meditators towards the depths, towards these inner depths, our inner secrets, our truth, our love, our connection, something that we all carry within us but have no chance to explore on our own. If you wish to explore these depths with me and with other meditators together, you're more than welcome to join our community, our Sannyasa family. Please apply by writing me an email with your introduction, with your interest in the Sannyasa family, and what can you give back to this Sannyasa family. Thank you very much. Namaste.